It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog the Scipio, joined as I am each and every week by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. And how the hell are you, Amelia?
Doing good as long as it's not raining again.
Why, is it raining again?
It usually does around the same time all the time.
Damn, no wonder. She lives in Florida, you guys.
Hurricane
And
season.
every time she's on this show, it's raining. It's a wonder you haven't floated the fuck away already.
Usually it's around hurricane season right now, so it's probably, yeah. If not, we just get the thunder and lightning, of course.
I have some words of advice for you. Move. Move.
What, closer up there to you? Give you more
Oh no,
headache?
I don't want you nowhere near me. I'm in like maybe Texas or
I was thinking about Maine.
Ohio.
I was thinking about Maine. I like Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want
they
to see the
can't
lighthouse.
handle you in Maine.
You know,
Jesus, what have you been
how
up
people
to, kid?
good just going to work and come home when the traffic is ridiculous. Of course, school started back,
Sure.
so
Yeah, you see,
so.
we're a little spoiled up here in the Northeast.
Mhm.
Our school goes back the day after Labor Day.
Ah, I remember those days. Remember, school started back after
In
Labor Day. All of it.
September, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're I'm afraid even to talk. I don't want to jinx it, you guys, but they're actually talking about going back in the middle of August.
Wow.
Yeah, and changing up the school year because Pennsylvania has done it.
Mhm.
Everybody down south has
Yeah.
done it. Florida for sure. Um, there's only a handful of states left up here that still go back like around Labor Day,
Yeah. I
right,
remember.
right after Labor Day.
Well, remember when it would start like after Labor Day, and it always ended like the last Friday of May. Remember all the time?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I like that time because they spend more time, in the summertime, and now it's like cutting it short every year.
Well, and that's see the people who oppose this.
Hmm.
That's their argument right there.
Yeah,
You just made the argument.
yeah,
What happened to summer?
exactly.
Look, it's bad enough when you're an adult that you blink and summertime is over.
Yeah, it's gone.
But now kids are like, what the hell are we getting out in May for?
Absolutely.
And why are we going back in August? I want to go swimming. I don't want to go to school.
Especially the adults that love summertime. They want to spend
Well,
more time
you
outside.
know what, though? I have to tell you something. They didn't think about something. I say they being the brain surgeons that came up with this idea, right? They didn't think about something. It's still hot in August.
Oh God, yes,
You got to put air conditioning in the schools.
yes,
Okay. Now, what you've just done is you created another expense.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. And one thing schools don't need right now is another expense
They do not.
because they can't afford what they got now.
No.
But they call me Mad Dog. You're a cynic. No, I'm not.
No, you're
I'm a
telling the truth.
disgruntled cynic. Let's get it right.
Because see, people don't understand that August is the hottest month here in Florida. It is
It's the
the
hottest
hottest.
month everywhere.
Yeah, here
You
is
know
the worst.
why?
Mhm.
Because it's that last push for the sun.
Yes.
There's something happens. I got to become a meteorologist now, folks. Um, it's called the equin. Let me get this word right because I know the word.
Equinox or something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they call it the equinoctial
Mhm.
cycle,
Yes.
and it's the equinox is makes its last hot push
Yes.
before the Earth switches up, and fall becomes winter, becomes whatever the case
Before
is.
we get to the Burr months, as they call it,
Yeah, what
Mhm.
she said.
like September,
Yeah.
October.
Well, listen, we got a really interesting show tonight.
Yes.
We're going to talk about This crazy woman,
Oh yeah, yeah.
her husband actually. We're going to talk about them. They,
That
and
is
their names are Michele Lamy and Rick Owens.
a strange pair.
Say her name, Amelia Lamy.
Leme.
Yeah, it's spelled Lammy, but it's Lamy, Lammy.
It's French, right?
It's everything's fucking French. Please give me a break. It's Michele Lamy. It's Lamy, but it's pronounced Lame. Lamy.
Leme.
Say it like that. Lamy.
Leme.
Yeah, because they don't pronounce like fucking words like normal people do.
And we're the ones that are normal compared to them.
Speak for yourself.
No, really,
There ain't
honestly.
nothing normal about me, baby. I got news for you. Oh my god! Listen, we
But
lost.
on a sadder note,
Yeah. Well, yeah. A very sad note. We lost one of our wrestling heroes.
yes.
Those of you who don't know, there's a guy that appeared on our show about 4 years ago, and his name was Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan was a legendary professional wrestler, to the point where many people credit him with Hulk Hogan's greatest achievement, making Hulk Hogan a bad guy, a heel.
Oh wow.
He's the guy who did it. In fact, I don't. If you don't know the story, I'll tell you the story because we're going to talk about Kevin on another show. We're doing a full show
Mhm.
dedicated to Kevin next week.
Oh,
But tonight,
fantastic.
yeah. But just cool your jets there, Gungadin.
Oh, I'm
Let
just
me finish.
happy that I got to see him one time.
Do me a favor. Decaf, okay?
I have
Decaf.
decaf.
She drinks way too much coffee, kids. I got news for
Actually,
you.
he turned me on to decaf, and I thank you for that.
It's good stuff.
It is.
But let's talk about Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
Kevin has been a guest on my show. I had the pleasure of knowing him and interviewing him, and not really that we didn't really interview. We just sat around and bullshitted on the show. You're going to hear that. Um, and one of Kevin's best friends was on the show with me. Happens to be my next door neighbor, Kathy Fitzpatrick.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and which is good because I've known Kathy Fitzpatrick for 40 years, which is a scary fucking thought. I've known her for. I'm serious too. I've known her for 40 years.
Wow.
I think she's the only person I've known for that long that's still living, other than family members.
Right.
I'm serious too. But Kathy and Kevin were good friends, and Kevin and I were friends, and he would come on if you asked. He was a really great guy with his time. If you said, Mr. Sullivan, first of all, it's not Mr. Sullivan, it's Kevin. My name's Kevin. Okay. He would come on your show and talk and tell you stories, and he was really generous to a fault. So here's what happened. And this is all I know, folks. So if anybody else knows further information, please let us know.
Oh yes.
Here's what we know. He passed away. Kevin passed away at the age of 77
Mm.
in Florida. One of the things that we were told is that Kevin passed as a result of some kind of an accident.
Yes, that's all we know.
And that's all we know. He was at an autograph signing convention, a wrestling convention. Amelia, the shows are all around you.
Oh yeah,
They're,
they
they're
come
all over. Yeah.
here and they come to or these places, the coliseums, and they
Yeah.
pay to get in. And
Well, Kevin was in Florida at the time. Actually, not far from where you live.
Not far at
Amelia.
all.
Not far at all, as a matter of fact, about 10 minutes away from your
Yes.
house.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin passed away very close to you.
Yes.
What we're being told is, what they're saying is that Kevin passed away as a result of injuries sustained from an accident. Now,
Yes.
he almost lost his leg. They saved his leg.
Hmm.
But what happened, as that happens a lot, folks, the thing called sepsis.
Yes.
Sepsis is a nasty, nasty disease.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes, it
it's a
is.
germ, is what it is.
Mhm.
Sepsis is contracted in hospitals. The other thing that he was dealing with was encephalitis,
Hmm.
which is very, very difficult to deal with. So we know that he had sepsis. We know he had hospital-borne sepsis. He also had hospital-borne encephalitis. Now, how did that affect him? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even going to try and guess. But one thing, suffice it to say, one thing led to another, and it made him sick, and it made him weak, and he was unable to fight off these diseases. Sometimes it's the simplest, the most ridiculous, dumb things that take us. Germs.
Yes.
Germs. Here's a guy who spent his whole life being in great shape, fighting for a living, wrestling, beating people up, but not really. Don't tell nobody. But it's just very sad.
Yeah.
To lose somebody like that. His daughter said, and thankfully we have his wife and his daughter have been providing information, but his daughter said, all I can tell you is my father was dealing with getting well and became very sick very quick. And that sounds like infection to me.
Yes.
And sepsis, sepsis is an infection.
Oh,
It's
it
a
is.
germ. And look, your husband. How long did Jeff deal with that? 2 years?
Yeah. Well,
A
it's
year?
about
At least a
15
year.
months or so, and he had to deal with it in the hospital. He had it in the hospital.
Yeah. Well, he's been in and out of the hospital for a year and a half.
Yeah, in and out, and thank goodness
You've
this
been with the show for 2 years,
right in
and
September.
he's been in the hospital most of that time.
Most of that time in September, he'll have his hip replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
finally.
don't understand that. It's crazy.
Finally, yeah. And he had sepsis twice.
Well,
Twice.
with your permission,
Yes.
I would like to do a little tribute to Kevin. He was, as I said, he was on the show.
Oh, please.
You're going to see a small clip of myself and Kathy Fitzpatrick.
I got to see him at Southwest Championship Wrestling once live,
Oh,
and he
okay.
was a great wrestler. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I knew Kevin outside the ring. I knew his work in the ring, of course. That goes without saying. But I knew him outside the ring. Here, just take a look at this.
Oh,
one.
yes, please.
The last time you talked to me when I was with him.
You better.
I know I did.
Well, tonight, Kevin, we're going to do something a little different. I'm not going to interview you. We're just going to talk. We're just going to have in fact, I called tonight's show Kevin Sullivan in Conversation. So we just want to talk. There's not too much, really, that you can get out of Kevin Sullivan that hasn't already been spoken about or known or put out in a shoot interview. or 3,000 that you've done. So tonight we're just going to talk.
Kevin,
Okay, well,
Kevin, I'm gonna do something that hasn't been done before.
Sure.
Kevin, what's your favorite superhero?
mine Hawkman.
Yep. And who had a Hawkman artist from DC Comics draw the Taskmaster versus Hawkman?
And Andrew Anderson.
That's right. I pulled my strings on a friend of mine, Darren Knock, who is a Marvel Comics illustrator, and he's also an illustrator for DC Comics, and he drew the Hawkman comic that nobody else gave him. They turned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Scott's a great guy. I love him dearly.
Yeah.
He's a good friend.
Scott's a good friend of the show. Scott wanted me to say hi to you, Andrew, and hi to you, Kevin.
I love Scotty. Scott's a great dude, man.
Well,
He'll be. He's at.
through Friday, this one cop worked it, and he was an older guy. And we'd stay there at the jack-offs where he'd have to chase us and we'd blow by him. But on Fridays and Saturdays, we left the park early because there was a cop named Dom Scalise, and he had been a pro boxer, and he was just a tough guy. Back in the day, actually, people used to take buses and
Well, Kevin, I have a co-host here. They call him the smartest man in the room. His name is Dan the Man Sebastiano, and he's got some questions for you. Go ahead, Danny.
Kevin, I want to say it's an honor to talk to you. Obviously, I started my career as a journalist and wrestling historian, and your name comes up all the time. So, but I want to kind of avoid some of the wrestling talk. I am curious if you.
Well, that's kind of all I have right now because I threw this clip together about 5 minutes before we went on the air.
It's great to
Amelia
hear.
knows I was scrambling to get this clip. I said, how much time do we got?
Yeah.
Where are we at on time, Amelia?
All right. It's
So,
good to hear his
yeah.
voice because we'll always have that, and you'll always have that clip. That's what's
I
fantastic
will always
about that.
have that entire 2-hour show, by the way.
Yeah.
And he would have stayed for 3 hours if we let
Yeah.
him. But it's like I had to let him go
Yeah.
because I had to go to bed.
And you can watch that on the
Tired.
YouTube channel and also be a member for $2.99.
Yes, it is in our archives. I will tell you what, we're doing really well. We made $7. I laugh about that because they're like, you know what? Look, here's the deal. If you want to join, great. If not, look, I don't get any of it. It's all going to Amelia's, the Amelia Chapman Pitbull Fund.
To help the Hubby's Hospital Vet Fund.
Now, to help support Tacos R Us down the street.
Oh, I
you
could.
and your son Joseph. What's the name of that taco place you and Joseph go to?
Oh, at Taco Bell.
Not Taco Bell, the other place that makes the real tacos.
That's my house, and I need to show you. I need to give you the recipe after the show.
One night, I'm serious. One night, you're going to do that on the air. You're going to make tacos on the air.
Okay.
We're going to do a cooking episode. You watch me. We're going to do it.
Yeah, it's so easy.
You think I'm kidding?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Papa Bear's hungry. You're going to fucking cook.
I'll even if I have to airmail you.
I'll
some
tell you what.
tacos.
Listen, God rest you in peace,
Yes,
there, Kevin.
Kevin Sullivan.
God rest his soul. Kevin.
Till we meet again.
Yeah, Kevin Sullivan, one of the legendary, amazing pro wrestlers of all time, with the Lord now, and they called him the Taskmaster. It's going to be interesting when God gets a hold of the devil, right?
And me and my
Kevin
sister
Sullivan,
were,
he's a little guy,
yeah. Me and
but
my
he was
sister,
tougher than a grizzly bear, bro. I'm gonna tell you what.
We got to say hi to him, but he was like, "Y'all need to go to the other side because remember, I am the bad guy, and I'm supposed to have the bad guy persona." So it's nice to meet you, girls, though. But
Yep.
he was like that with us. But we
I
were
know
little kids,
he was like that with everybody, Mill.
But
So
he was
tonight,
really sweet.
What do we got tonight? That's
We
enough
got
of your yapping.
Michele
Get
Lamy.
with the show here, young lady.
Michele Lamy. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's
Lamy.
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 There you
And
go.
her husband, 27 years, her senior, Rick Owens, the Dark
Rick
Lord of
interesting guy.
Fashion.
He's
Sounds called.
a furniture maker. He makes furniture.
Mm.
People don't understand this. They call him a fashion icon. He doesn't do clothing at
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
People don't get that.
But the way,
She does the clothing,
yeah.
not him. He builds furniture.
Mhm.
That's what Rick Owens does. He designs and builds furniture.
Have you seen the way she dresses? Looks like she wears his furniture.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Particularly, we're going to talk about her handbag.
Mm.
That she well, we're not only we're going to talk about it, but those of you that watching this on Roku and Tubi TV and Amazon Prime and all those other places where we are,
And that
you
are
are going to
listening.
hear and see for yourself the most unusual handbag you've ever seen. Now,
Oh my gosh.
let me tell you who this woman is. Because she's an interesting character. Michele Lamy is called a connector of. Amelia, will you do me a favor? Shut up. God, this woman. Can somebody please take her? Please just take her.
Oh.
Michele Lamy is called a connector of people, ideas, influences, subcultures. She's been called an entrepreneur, a visionary, a style icon, a band leader. That one came out of nowhere. A curator, a polymath octogenarian, whatever the fuck that means. She's been called old nubby silver rings, coal shadowed eyes, gold plated teeth, and Berberesque tattoos. All of this makes up Michele Lamy, born in Jura, France in 1944. Lamy has lived many lives, from cabaret dancer to defense lawyer. Yes, scary, but she's an actual lawyer. Fucking scary thought. Fashion designer. And in the 1990s in Los Angeles, she owned a restaurant and a nightclub. The perfect milieu for her innate ability to throw a fantastic party, which they said she threw a hell of a party. Sure, well, look where her clients were. Strange, weird people like her who had a lot of money.
Oh yes, they have.
You know? I don't care how much money you got. I ain't going to none of your parties, lady. You're crazy.
Yeah,
Get it.
exactly.
Lamy is probably best known as the business partner and muse of her husband, Rick Owens. These days, she's focused on producing his line of furniture, imposing and minimalist, carved from huge slabs of rare veinless marble or assembled from plywood, bronze, and moose antlers. Though artist is how many might describe her, she considers herself a storyteller. Yeah, she's a storyteller, all right. I got some stories to tell you about her. With her incredibly receptive and fearless, quote, fearless spirit, she is the conduit of art and nurturer and of ideas. Listen to this one, you guys. When she says to you, "Welcome to Lamyland," Lamyland, we say that word, Lamy, that's her last name. It's pronounced Lamy,
Mhm.
but we say Lammy. Lamyland is the catch-all she uses for her eclectic output. All right, now, forward-looking with a can-do attitude, Lamy has always been plugged into the heart of culture, kinship across generations and disciplines, and working with artists and rappers and actors and singers and dancers like Christine Ghetto Gastro, ASAP Rocky, Marina Abramoff, Jorgen Teller, Kim Kardashian, and Jordan Wolfson, just to name a few. Because the list is about 3,000 people. I don't have all night to to talk about these crazy people. Amelia,
Mhm.
you brought this crazy woman to me. Now, what was it about Michele Lamy that that kind of like perked your interest in bringing her to the subject to me?
All of a sudden she was in the news spending time with, like you said, the Kardashians, and the way she was dressed, and the way they were talking about her being like a sorceress, a witch, a gypsy, a dark priestess, and the way they even described her as a 1600-year-old woman,
Oh
an
my
old
God!
lady.
Let me tell you something. When the rumor mill gets churning on
Yeah.
social media, it churns in a big way, and Amelia's going to be right in the middle of that shit. Trust
Well,
me.
she doesn't look like she's 80 years old. I mean, it's the way she acts. She
Oh
acts like
yes, she does. She looks like
well, I
she
mean, the
looks.
way she
Can I?
acts, you know.
No, no, I
Mhm.
disagree.
Mhm.
I disagree. She looks older than
Yeah.
80. What she's done to herself has made her age.
Yeah.
She's aged 30 years.
Yeah, she has. Well, with the fingertips
And
all
by the
black
way,
and
she's not in her 80s.
oh, she's not in her 80s.
No, she's not. That's another part of the rumor mill. She is actually 78 years old.
Oh,
She's not yet 80.
80.
But there are people who say she's 88, she's 103.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
the old look. Look, just look at her.
Uh-huh.
She wears black, and everything she's wearing comes off.
Mhm.
The black makeup on her hands, that comes off. The black streak on her forehead, that comes off. She does this every day. She
Yeah,
puts this makeup on every day. Hold on a minute.
uh-huh.
Because I want people to understand what you're dealing with here. You're dealing
Yeah.
with a whack job.
Exactly.
You're dealing with a whack job who wants to be famous. What is she famous for? She's famous for being a fucking whack job.
Yeah.
Like Kim Kardashian. What is she famous for?
Yeah.
She's famous for nothing.
Nothing.
She's famous for being Robert Kardashian's
That's her
daughter.
daughter. That's
God
it.
rest his soul.
That's
That
it.
trial killed that poor
It
bastard.
did. It actually did. Sadly to
Be
say.
careful what you ask for, folks. You just might get it. You just might get it. That's why I stopped asking for money and riches and fame and power eons ago. You know why? First of all, I'm not going to get it. Don't want it. I'd rather be poor and happy than rich and miserable, looking over my shoulder every 5 minutes. That's not a life I want to live. But when you are Rick Owens and Michele Lamy, just say it, Neil. Just go ahead and say Michele Lamy. Go ahead. Just
Leme.
say Lamy. Yeah, there you go.
Leme.
But think about what I'm saying to you, though. Think about what I'm saying. She does this. It's a show for her.
Yeah.
Look at this woman. Just look at her.
Yeah, it's just
That's a show. It's a show for her. That's her, by the way.
her cabaret days, probably, right?
That's a picture of Michele Lamy from 1965. Okay? From 1965. Right?
Mhm.
That's what, 50 years ago?
Yes.
Okay? 49 years ago. Let me tell you something. If you look at her today and you look at that picture, she has aged terribly.
Terribly, yes.
Terribly. If that's what you think she looks good for her age, you're out of your fucking mind. Let's watch this video. I'm going to describe some of it. How does this turn into this? Think about what I just said. That was me, by the way.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's her husband. Okay? That's it. Look at these two. What are we looking at?
2 peas in a pod.
That's exactly what they are. Two
Yeah.
screwballs that belong together. Two fucking whack jobs. This is going to be a real short show, folks. Two screwballs that belong together. Because that's basically all they are. Look at them.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Now, what is she doing?
Putting her whole,
She's
pretty much her whole
sitting
hand in
here.
her mouth.
She's got her hand shoved in her mouth. Okay, let me explain behind the picture behind here. Okay. What we're looking at is she's got this picture of her with her hand shoved in her mouth. She calls that, and that's an art, excuse me, folks, that's an art piece. Okay. She calls that, what do you think she calls it? It's called hand and mouth.
Yeah.
That's what she calls the art piece, hand and mouth. Why don't you stick your foot in mouth and call it foot and mouth? Because that's pretty much where your foot's been, in your mouth all this time.
Ugh.
Let me show you something else about this. She's a crazy person. Watch.
Yeah.
The fashion community is going to hate me for this one. This is Michele Lamy, and I fell into a deep dark rabbit hole last night, finding out more about her. Michele was born in the 40s. She is around 80 years old. She's worked as an attorney, a clothing designer, a performer, a producer. She was born in France, but has lived in many places, including New York and Los Angeles. And she's the wife of fashion designer Rick Owens, who is also known as the Lord of Darkness in the fashion community. Michele actually discovered Rick Owens, and a lot of people credit her for his career. One time, Michele wore his head as a purse.
All right, now, those of you who just heard that she wore her husband's face as a purse. Well, there it is right there. That's kind of creepy looking.
Yeah.
What do you make of that, Mel?
I don't know why she would want to wear his head as a person. Maybe you think, oh, that's my husband and I claim him and I own him kind of thing statement.
I'm go ahead.
And
I haven't shit on any of that yet, so I'm with you.
The way she has his arm around him is like showing everybody this is my man. And
exactly, very territorial. That's what you picked up on. That's what I picked up on. Very territorial. Watch it.
And Michele wore his head as a purse. I don't work in the fashion industry, so there's a lot of things that I probably don't understand, but Michele is very highly respected among her peers. And many celebrities, like the ones pictured here. Usher, Kim Kardashian, A$AP Rocky, and Kanye West. She has a very distinct style. Every morning she draws a black line on her forehead, and she says she doesn't really have an explanation for it. She also stains her fingers black. It has been reported online that Michele got her inspiration from the Amazigh women who also used to paint on their face. She's also known for having gold-plated teeth, but the rabbit hole that I fell into last night has people convinced that Michele is a high priestess or witch of some sorts in the Hollywood scene. Now, I'm not saying she is or she isn't, and I simply cannot get into all of the details. The information is out there if you want to look into it, but there's so much mystery surrounding this woman. Like I said, she is highly respected in the fashion and art industries. A lot of people really love her work, and a lot of other people are convinced that she controls a lot of what is going on in Hollywood and that there's something much more sinister going on, allegedly. Let me know your thoughts.
All right.
No.
Couple of things there. What did you catch? Go ahead.
The way she was standing and the way after she looked very demonic, like she was possessed.
That's one of the things I saw. And here's what I noticed. She cannot stand still.
She cannot. No, she cannot.
She cannot stand still. She's constantly moving, and I'm going to tell you why. And I found out something about her a lot of people don't know, but I'm going to expose it now. She can't stand up straight.
Yeah.
She can't stand up. That's why she's always moving. If you ever notice her, watch her, she's always leaning on something, holding on to someone, moving around like this, in swaying motions. Okay.
Yeah, like her body.
Looking very mystical. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how unmystical this woman really is. Okay. She's a 78-year-old woman who can't deal with her own balancing issues. She can't stand up straight. she's got trouble walking.
Yes.
She's always with someone walking. And when she's not, she's either on a horse or on some kind of a moving platform or in a vehicle. She can't go on her own. She can't do it. You know, she can't hang like the kids used to say. She can't hang.
Yeah.
Right. So Michele Lamy wants everybody to believe she's some mystical high priestess, and she has convinced a number of people in Hollywood that she's the deal. Okay. And okay, so am I surprised at that? No,
no.
Because Hollywood is fucked up.
Weird, yeah. Hollywood, yeah. You're right.
Hollywood is fucked up. It's a strange place. There's nothing there that any good will come out of. The place was corrupted since its inception. Hollywood was built on sin. It lives on sin. It thrives on sin. And it's going to die from its sin. You understand where we're going with this, kids?
Yeah.
She's not a nice person. And you're going to hear her mock God. I don't like that. Listen to this.
Oh.
I would like to introduce you to the head witch, Michele Lamy. She's a 78-year-old fashion.
Did you hear what he said? A 78-year-old fashion designer. That's how old she is. She's 78. Listen.
Designer from France, currently married to the American fashion designer, Rick Owens. Here she is wearing his head on her body during Fashion Week. And not only that, through the years, she's developed close relationships with ton celebrities, including A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky mentions Rick Owens in his music a lot, if you're familiar. Here's another picture of A$AP doing the satanic ritual in the beginning of his...
You see that?
Satanic ritual, yes.
You see the pentagram?
Pentagram, yes.
You see A$AP Rocky right there?
Right in the center.
Right in the middle of the pentagram. What surprised me about this is how many African Americans are turning their lives over to witchcraft.
Yeah,
like
it's horrible.
This. Because let's just call it, to use the expression, let's call a spade a spade.
A spade, yeah.
Okay. The fact is that black folks are very spiritual, very,
oh, yes.
They're God-fearing people, God-loving people.
Doing the satanic ritual in the beginning of his career. Not only that, Michele is very close with another coven, the Kardashians.
Now, Amelia?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the hell she's wearing?
It looks like a potato sack that she turned black.
It's a very, very big outfit that she's wearing.
Yeah.
And her legs look like little toothpicks.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Like the skinniest
That's
little.
That's why I'm asking you, what the hell is she wearing?
I mean, to me, that's what it looks like. A lot of the stuff that she wears is like big old potato sacks that she just like cuts and pieces. Like anybody can wear.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. Watch.
Starting to make sense.
Listen to what Michele Lamy said about God.
Thinking that people that can behave like incredible human beings are without the help of a God.
This video is for educational purposes only and under the fair use. Michele Lamy had an article written about her called The High Priestess of Paris. She's married to Rick Owens, who calls himself the Dark Lord of the fashion industry. He can be seen with different celebrities. Of course, here she's wearing something with Rick Owens' head on it. Understand, they influence the people that influence our children. You have somebody called the High Priestess of Paris and the Dark Lord of the fashion industry and saying that people don't need God. Now, that interview was like 10 years ago. Prayerfully, she's changing, but it shows the invisible influence of the enemy. Spirits, the Bible would call the rulers of the darkness of this age. This is the time now, Christians, to rise up. Preach the gospel like never before.
Okay. Not only is she unapologetic, she is absolutely adamantly against God. Interestingly, she doesn't think that God has helped her. So there's only two ways you get power, from God or from the enemy.
Right.
Okay, well, looks like she embraced, the dark side.
The dark side,
Think
exactly.
about her husband. He calls himself the
The
Dark
dark.
Lord,
hmm
the Dark Lord of the fashion industry, which, by the way, he's not. Okay, he's the Dark Lord of the woodworking industry. She's in the fashion industry. He's
Right.
not. He's not in any way, shape, or form involved in fashion. He makes furniture, folks. Okay, maybe some eclectic talking head might make a case for the fact that that this might be considered fashion, but furniture to me is furniture.
Yeah.
I don't care how you slice or dice it. Okay, my couch is not a fashion item. It's
No.
a piece of furniture I'm going to lay down on and put my feet up on. That's the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell everybody what we're looking at. What did we just look at? Explain to me and our viewers, what the hell did we just watch?
That
Because I'm
video.
trying to figure this shit out.
That video was just unbelievable about her saying that she didn't believe in God and God didn't exist. And to me, God there's no religion. Of course, there's not going to be a religion to her, but there is a religion. God does exist. Of course, how were we created? Think about that. If she doesn't think that there's a religion, well, then what religion is she? How does she think that we were created
I
if
don't
people are
think
going to get
that's a good
along?
question. Can I answer that?
Of course.
I don't think she doesn't think in terms. Let me back up. I don't think she thinks in terms of religion,
Right.
because I don't think she acknowledges
She doesn't.
religion. Okay,
hmm
and that's fine, because religion is first of all, religion is a state of mind. Religion's also a very personal thing to some people.
Yes.
It's not to me. I'm not a religious person. I
hmm
never have been. I'm a spiritual person. That's me. I'm a spiritual person. I don't like religion, but I love God.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so you gotta understand, like, where you draw the line at here. She made a pretty bold statement,
Yeah.
and going quote unquote God, some people need the help of God, and then smirking about it.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off. That little fucking smirk at the end. I was like, come here,
And,
smirk again, bitch. I'm gonna fuck your face up.
and people are going to follow her in that. People are going to, tend to say, okay, well, let's see
There
what
are
your beliefs
people,
are.
Amelia. There are people. You just went there.
hmm
You just went there. Thank you. Because
Yes.
now I'm going to jump right where you open up the door.
Yeah.
There are people that will follow this bitch
Mm.
to hell and back.
Yes.
Well, guess what? When you go to hell, you ain't coming back.
No, you're not.
Okay, there ain't no hell and back. All right, it's hell and you stay. You know.
Especially like we were talking earlier, the parties that she throws, that supposedly they're immaculate parties. We don't want to know what she does at her parties, what she serves, but we don't know
I
what
have
kind of
no interest.
followers she gets.
I have no interest
No.
in anything she is promoting, what she's about. To me, as far as I'm concerned, what I see is a woman
hmm
that is completely and utterly self-consumed
And
with
herself.
the celebrity. Yes, with the celebrity culture,
Yes.
which also means she's consumed by herself. We
Yes.
just 45 minutes. Wow.
And you know
We
what's so
just talked for
scary?
45 minutes. I got to
Yeah.
do a commercial, folks.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
I am so way past my commercial break. Holy shit. Sorry, folks. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
We are back with What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. That crazy woman, she's Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. And tonight we're talking about this interesting character, Michele Lamy, is known as the High Priestess of Fashion. She is a practicing witch. She is all the rage of the celebrity world. They all think, here's this crazy shit, okay? Because celebrities are fucked up in the head anyway, right?
Yes.
They've all sold their soul to get famous, right? And I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Every celebrity has sold their soul on some level to become famous. Whether it was outright or, implied. Here's the thing. These goofy fucks think that dealing with Michele Lamy is somehow going to bolster their career. Is somehow if I get near her, she's going to make me rich and famous. Because they think that she's the devil.
Yes, they do. They think honestly that
What
she
they
is.
don't realize, Amelia, is that she's a fucking twat like they are.
She's crazy in the head, or like my kids used to say, cuckoo in the head.
She's crazier. You know why?
Mhm.
Because she believes her own bullshit. She
Goodness.
believes her own bullshit. And look, if you believe your own bullshit, chances are you're going to end up, a victim of your own bullshit.
Or in the crazy asylum.
Look, I mean, I'll tell you what. I did it for a long time. I believed my own bullshit. I did it for a long time. And then I realized, Mad Dog, Angelo, who are you kidding? Because you know what? My truth is greater than my bullshit. I've done a lot of stuff. I don't have to make up anything. I used to make up stuff. I don't have to make up anything because I've had an amazing life,
Yes.
good life. To quote Frank Capra, I've had a wonderful life. And I still have a wonderful life. Anyway.
We're taking it a day at a time, as they say. But, you don't need celebrities, influences. You don't need that to be rich and famous. Just if you are a celebrity, just go on with your life. You don't need this woman. You don't. And if you think selling your soul is worth it, do me a favor, don't. Because you know what? As I said last night, that is not your soul to sell, damn it. That soul does not belong to you.
What are you preaching? What are you preaching?
I'm telling people not to sell their damn soul because it doesn't belong to them.
All right.
Just like I said last night, your
Yes,
soul
ma'am.
it belongs to God. It was loaned to you.
All right.
Just like I was telling last night.
Okay. I'm afraid now.
No, I'm just
Damn.
pleading with people. Please don't do that. Not for fame and fortune. It's not worth it.
No, it's really not.
No, it's not.
So look, here's the deal. We wanted to bring this crazy woman to you just to let you know how gullible some of these celebrities are. And look, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're smart.
No.
Most of these people have gotten lucky
Yes.
And the rest who haven't gotten lucky have sold their spirit. They've sold their soul to the devil to get rich.
It's horrible.
I can't
Horrible.
do that. I'll never do that.
No, I won't. Because
So anyway,
no.
what's the verdict here?
That
What's
she's
the
a
verdict?
loon. I want to say she's a loon, and her husband's a loon with her, and the people that are joining her are crazy as well. And I wanted to bring this to people's attention of what's going out there and what your kids are watching. So please watch what. Please make sure you monitor your kids on what they're watching, because that lady is not somebody that you want your kids to follow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's my motto.
Simple way to put it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
See how nice that was?
Easy as
Didn't have to holler or nothing.
not yet, anyway, unless they make me mad.
Oh God, please don't get her started. Jeez. Oh my God.
Yep.
Anyway. So what do you got planned?
For tonight or the weekend?
Well, just tell me what your plans are.
Just going to work, unfortunately, and getting the house ready for getting Jeff his surgery, getting all that stuff ready, getting the hospital bed out of here soon, and getting my furniture
Yeah,
back.
right.
Yeah.
Well, this is our final show of the week.
Yes. What do you
Lord
have planned?
willing, and the creek don't rise.
What do you
Lord
have
willing, and the
planned?
creek don't. Will you let me finish this? Oh my God, she interrupts me all the time. There's a 7-second delay. I keep telling you, there's a 7-second delay. She still doesn't understand, ladies and gentlemen, the concept of a live video stream delay. Because she's still trying to do it. Anyway, go ahead. Now that the delay has passed, go ahead. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm waiting.
What do you have planned?
I'm gonna go off the air. I'm going to probably pour a really stiff drink. I might even start smoking again. Because you drive me nuts, make me crazy. Anyway, no, I'm going to get off of here, spend some time with my babe. My one and only. I'm gonna tell you, I love my wife. Wife, if you're listening, I love you, you crazy woman. That'd be crazy to marry me, but that's okay. It's all good. Well, listen, we will be back, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise on Monday with William Keck. Bill Keck is they call him the tabloid bad boy. He is the television producer, created a lot of reality shows. He's the guy who reunited the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch. He reunited. Oh God, who else did he reunite? God, I should know this. I had it all written down. All of these like TV reunions. He reunited everybody. Yeah, the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch, the Little House on the Prairie, crazy stuff like that. He's an amazing guy. We're gonna have him here.
Great.
He wrote a book called "When You Step Upon a Star."
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good book. Check him out. Do some research for a change. On that note, for Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, I'm the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. Take care, folks. God bless. We will see you, Lord willing, on Monday. Bye-bye.